Dun 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 dun. We are live at Silverstone. SLR's back. Tier 1. Let's go! Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk over the top. That would have been.
Welcome to the Cringe Fest. That is SLR Tier 1. It's myself, Ocean Chief, and Joel on commentary for this one. Yeah, Tier 1. We had the Tier 2 race on Wednesday, and now we're with the big boys, the fast guys, Tier 1 guys, and look at that lineup. We have pretty much a full grid. Maybe Fox will join us later on and make that complete. But yeah, Joel, what do you think about this? You raced on Wednesday. What do you think is going to happen in this race?
I couldn't tell you, but I mean, I can tell you what happened on Wednesday. There were lots of trains. DRS is a big factor here, so there's lots of DRS trains. Also, I'm going to actually learn how to drive this track because I was awful on Wednesday, so I'll be looking on board some drivers today to see how they can actually handle the car around here because I couldn't. Okay,
dear.
say that crystal's already crashed. Yeah, you can easily spin it out of cops or maggots and Beckett's. Oh, and Roadrunner has done that as well, so.
Yeah, so apparently Tier 1.
Not just me then.
Yeah, Tier 1 has a few guys who are unsure of themselves on track at the minute. These are only out laps, and 2 guys are ready. Spinning out. Crystal, unfortunately, DNF there, so he will be kicking himself. We do have it confirmed for the race. It's full wet race, this one. So the monsoon.
I don't know if you're having me on.
No,
it's Justin actually said it.
Yeah, full wet race, so we are expecting it. You can see the clouds are pretty dark in the skyline. But yeah, let's talk about a little bit about Silverstone. It is quite a fan favorite, a driver favorite here. Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys like it. It's very much a kind of sweeping. You know, all the lines are quite sweeping. You got a lot of fast corners. Cops Corner, of course, notoriously difficult to do flat out. We can actually ride on board here with Meepo just to see if he does indeed lift at Cops Corner today.
Yeah, I mean, it can be a death trap at certain parts.
Yeah, you have to get the absolute right line for certain corners, especially Maggots Beckett, so you can get a really good run, carry a lot of speed for these corners. But if you get your line wrong, it will compromise your exit onto the hanger straight here. And as you see, Meepo running a bit too much on the curb there, and yeah, for Cops Corner as well. I think he did go. He had a slight lift, but he even went wide there on the exit. So Meepo's struggling out there today on no assist. He is an assisted driver usually, but does like to dip his toes in to the no assist tiers,
or dip his toes out of the assists.
Yeah, or he's dipping his toes into the pits right now because he's decided to abandon that lap. So we'll go on board with Hoodem, who is on a lap here, and we're going to see if he indeed will lift at Cops Corner as Adesi takes pole position already, 126.7. So the gauntlet has been laid, and Hoodem, don't think he lifted there. Managed to keep the car within the track limits, so the track is valid. Oh, a big lift there for Maggots Beckett, and actually abandons this lap. So Icewind going past there. So let's join on board with Icewind, who has not got a time on the board just yet. He's racing down Hanger Straight, and yeah, this corner here is quite easy to pick up a track warning. As you can see, he does run wide there, and that's exactly what I was talking about. And he decides to abandon this lap because of that.
Stowe there is actually a very difficult corner. To keep the minimum speed up, it's all about that through that corner, so you don't want to brake too much at all going into there. You just want to sort of roll the car in and get on the accelerator, because traction's not a problem out of that. But yeah, of course, got to be careful on the exit line after Cody's fixed that a couple of years ago. You can't abuse that anymore. Danny, P4 on the mediums, P5 now was Jerry, 26.222 as his first lap back in league racing. For about 5 months he's not played this game apart from practice. Wow. So I tell you what, that's a good lap to start.
Yeah, that is a superb lap, and guys who have been playing this game for a while now, Copy and Adesi, yeah, not too far off, but I mean, I say that, but it is quite a gap when you think about it. It's tier 1, 26.7, so 4 or 5 tenths off the pace right now, but I'd say 26.7 on softs, nothing to be scoffed at. That lap by Danny though, 27 flat on mediums, I think he'd be happy enough with that, but I'm not sure if that's going to be top 10 that time by the end of this session.
Yeah, I mean, he'll definitely go out on the softs again because it's going to be a full wet race, so it doesn't matter on his starting tyres. He's just probably getting banker in so he can do 4 runs instead, but he's going to have to hurry up.
That is a good point, Joel. Actually, these guys, medium runs are a bit pointless, actually, now that you mention it.
Yeah, yeah. If it is full wet from the very start, which is what Justin suggests.
Jamie as well, up to P4 there, so 26.8 for the new guy in SLR. I don't know if he's done a race with us before, but I think this is his first time in Tier 1 anyway.
Yep. There's people are filtering back into the pits.
Just Meepo on a lap at the minute, going through turn 1, so we can ride on board with him and have a look at what sector 1 feels like in the Alpha. And you can see just trying to carry as much speed as possible through there, but maybe getting the line there, the entry line a bit shallow, and it compromises exit as he's into the first DRS zone, heading down here towards whatever this corner is called, turn 5 maybe.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you all the corner names. Well, I could probably tell you all the corner names, but I don't know which corners they actually are,
Yeah,
so that's a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
This is the old start-finish straight there.
Yeah, I remember this. I'm probably showing my age, but I do remember playing games and playing the old version of Silverstone. As Meepo again runs wide there on the exit, and it's an invalidated lap time from him, unfortunately. Struggling to get time on the board, but he has plenty of time to get back to the pits and put on a fresh set of softs.
Yeah, one thing about this final corner and Maggots and Beckett's.
Sorry, Joel, I'll just put in there because Icewind on his hot lap, turn 1 invalidated. He'll be kicking himself there.
Yeah, I mean, turn 1 is obviously not the best place to invalidate. One noter is, but I suppose though, if you think about it, turn 1 is the best place to invalidate if you are going to invalidate, because then you don't have to burn your tyres for the rest of the lap. Maybe it's the master plan from Ferrari.
I don't think Icewind's seeing the positive side of invalidating a turn 1, but yeah, I get your point. But yeah, I interrupted you. Sorry, Joel, if you were going to say something.
I was just saying, if there's a driver coming through Maggots and Beckett's, maybe get on board with them. But the line is so important because you don't want to go too far in to Maggots. You've got to basically take that as if the corner doesn't exist, and focusing on the exit onto the hangar straight. Because if you brake too hard, turn too far in, you're going to get a pretty poor exit, so you just got to make sure that you hit the apex on the second part of that chicane and not the first.
And just demonstrating that, you know, exactly your point there was Roadrunner, who was going through Mag Specs there as you were talking and invalidates. Yeah, that line through there is crucial, but it is quite tricky to hook it up. Who else have we got on the lap here? I think a Desi is coming around that corner. Heading to Cobb's corner. So let's see, I don't think Desi's going to lift here. I think he's running 5.5 wings. I think that's the setup he might be using today.
Tiny lift. Yeah, you probably, I mean, most of us probably don't actually need to lift, but it's just, you know, you feel the car going away from you, and you do that as a precaution. That's a decent line there. Could have taken a bit more curb on the inside, but he's 2 tenths up, and he's looking to close the gap to Jarry at the top of the table as he comes into Stowe, hardly on the brakes, rolling it through and on the full throttle before he's even straightened the wheel, which is what you want to do here. Braking super late, touching the black and white curb and not getting anywhere near the red curb, and same on the exit, avoiding the sausage curbs, and across the line, P2, 1.6.
Nice lap from a Desi there.
Away.
Yeah, he came up from Tier 2 last season, so this is his first full season in Tier 1, and I have to say, he won the first race, so he got off to a really good start, and looking pretty good for this one as well.
Yeah, I mean, being 1 tenth off Jarry is no mean feat.
Yeah, Copy heading through Cop's corner here. No lift from Copy. Gets his line nicely done there. No invalidation from him as he heads through Maggots Beckett's, and oh, maybe I turned in a bit too early there, and yeah, that's invalidated lap time from him, showing you just how easy it is to do that. A lot of drivers getting caught out there. Oh, and someone jumped up there. Was that McKender? Yeah, McKender goes P3 with 26.5, so it does improve a little bit. Bumps him up to P3, second row of the grid as it stands. Justin Racer as well, just putting a lap in there, a nice tidy one from him, 26.9. So yeah, as we were saying about Danny, that 27 flat, even though it's a pretty stellar lap on mediums, probably going to be outside the top 10 because these guys are killers.
Yeah, definitely, and I mean, he's going to have to get out. Yeah, I think he's already tried once to come out on softs, but had to go back in again for some reason.
Oh,
Janice has spun
yeah,
in front of the podium, giving the fans something to cheer about.
Yeah, and his teammate just passing by there, waving as he crosses the line. Not a good lap from Papa, actually. Like 6 seconds almost off his time, so probably going to continue on this lap here. Won't matter so much.
What is Janice doing? Okay, he's just driven straight into the barrier.
Interesting.
And now he's spewing gravel all over the track.
Yeah, the other drivers won't appreciate that very much, but I'm riding on board with his teammate Papa, who's on a second hot lap here. The first one wasn't too good, almost 6 seconds off the time as he heads down into Cops. Oh, and loses the back end, and you can see he tried to catch it there, but yeah, back end just caught the wall, and it's
quickly flicking over to the stream to see what happened. Oh yeah, yeah,
I think
very easy.
I think that wheel behind him in that shot is actually belonging to Crystal. It might be.
I think that might be Crystal's.
Yeah, it might be. Just the remnants. R.I.P. Crystal.
Yeah, that's why most of the drivers do lift, because if you get that snap of oversteer, you're not gonna die.
Yep. And what have we got? Jamie, not on a lap it seems. Who is on a lap? We've got a Alpha of Meepo. Is he on a lap? Has he started his hot lap? It looks like he has indeed started a hot lap. So let's ride on board with him and see how he does this time. If he can keep the lap valid, that's going to be objective number 1, and objective number 2 is do a fast lap.
Yeah, on the throttle early, taking the curb here, which is good. Opening the DRS, obviously. And you got to brake earlier than you think into this corner, the left-hander, because you got to hit the curb. If you go slightly wide, you're going to get onto the rumble strip, but taken pretty well there. Hooking it back round. Use all the exit curb, and then keep it as tight as you can to the barrier on the right here without invalidating on the white line. And let's see if he's confident enough to go through this full throttle. No, quite a large lift after what happened last time. And coming into Maggots and Beckett's, good line down to 7th. And then he wanted to get down to 5th, and that's what I'm talking about. That line was not optimal. He probably lost 3 or 4 tenths even going too deep into that corner, so you really got to be on top of your brake pressure. And then into Stowe again. Bit of dirty air from the car ahead, but a decent enough line. Danny has retired. He seems to have retired manually on the back straight. Yeah, that's interesting. Even though he's on the mediums. Anyway, Meppo comes across the line, P12.
Yeah, so he gets a lap on the board. That's the most important thing. It is at 27.7, so P12 for the time being. Eagle Ghost in chat there, big shout out. Hello, tier 2 driver. He's saying it depends on the setup to lift or not. Yeah, a lot of these guys are running setups that probably can go flat out for there, but it's all about that line, really. That's the most important thing. As I'm seeing outlap. A lot of drivers on outlaps here, so we're getting to that crunch time. It's the final hot lap run for these guys is 1:40 on the clock, so they will make it run in time for one final shot.
Desi's on a lap, and he's coming through a lot of traffic. He's just got past 3 cars unscathed, it seems.
Slightly up in sector 1, just by just under a tenth there. Jerry as well, starting his hot lap, so we'll stay on board with Desi. We're keeping our other eye on Jerry Fitz. And no lift from a Desi there, as you'd expect from a driver of his caliber. Let's see how he does. Magus Beckett's takes a lot of curb there, and
yeah, and focusing on the exit, that's almost perfect.
Oh, and run it, taking all the curb, yeah.
Yeah, he's a 1.5 tenths up. That's what you want to do. You need to go a bit on the grass, otherwise you're not pushing it to the limit. And here, he should have his right tyre almost outside the line. Didn't use all the track, but coming through here, braking as late as he can, and getting this line ready, and only accelerating when he's got a flat-out way to the finish line, and he can't go pole today. However, he may be able to, because I think he's going for another lap yet again on these softs, because obviously he doesn't have to start on them, so he can afford to do 2 hot laps in a row, so we'll keep an eye on him again.
Yeah. Let's have a look at Jari as he makes his way through these final corners. He is just over a tenth up in his time here, so he may get a 26 flat or thereabouts, and he does indeed, 26.027. And McKender also put himself up into P3. I think he did improve a little bit, 26.5. He's not out of this session. Who else we got on a run here who might get a chance? Oh, look at that. Icewind puts himself up in P5 at some point there with 26.7. Yeah. Great lap from him.
Desi on the second run again, and he was up on his time in sector 1, made a bit of a mistake through Brooklands, but we'll see his sector split again in a minute.
Yeah, Justin that racer as well, just in the background, putting in a stellar lap, puts himself up into P4, currently on the second row of the grid.
Desi here is getting Slipstream from Icewind, which might be the difference between pole and P2. I don't know whether that was planned, the 2 Finns helping each other out.
You'd love to see it, and let's see if it translates into some improvement in his track time. He does better for the penultimate corner there, and full on the front. Oh! Yeah, just missing out on bettering his time there, so it is front row lockout from Jari and Desi. I don't think anyone else is... Actually, we do have Copy on a lap here, yeah.
Yeah, he's only half a tenth up, so I imagine he'll get P4, and he does. And Jamie has invalidated, and Mepos finishes lap. That's the grid.
That is the grid for today. Shout out to Zombie Kebab, nice performance there, 27.5, not a bad lap from him. Who else? We've got Sahi Nidis. We talked about him in the first race. He's just converted over to steering wheel with no assist, so has a mountain decline, but he's doing alright there, 27.5, nothing to be scoffed at there. My teammate, Shakalaka, P16, 27.9. Good to see Tilda back as well, 27.9 also from him. And at the very back of the grid, we've got Crystals, who DNF'd, and Dragon, who, as we know,
never does quali.
Yeah, he never does a quali. What's the reason for that? Is it just because he prefers...
I don't know, I just guess he sees it as a bit of fun, just starts at the back every race, rather than the end of the season.
So there we go, and as Justin states in chat, full wet race, so we're expecting like full wet conditions throughout the whole race, which does put a bit of a dampener on things here, but I think these guys, I mean, if you look at the lineup here, I think we've got a good race in store today. As you can see the standings there, Jerry Fitz P1, 2 Finns behind him, Adesi and McKender, and then his Copy just in that racer in P4, P5, Icewind P6, Jamie, the reserve for today, P7, and Roadrunner, aka Julius, is P8. So yeah, we didn't really talk about him. Did a pretty good lap there. Giannis P9, and Danny Coe with that medium run actually did make the top 10. But I'm sure
it's not going to make a difference, is it?
Yeah, I don't think it's not good. I wonder if he got the full wet race memo. Because he's going to be kicking himself if he didn't. Oh, and is this dry? It looks...
Is it a strategic master stroke?
Ooh, that could be good. That could be good. I like a wee bit of weather change in a race. Keeps everyone on their toes, but I don't know. It looks like it's going to rain, but it's not wet yet.
Yeah, well, they got dry tyres out in the garages, so it's not wet weather yet. Although, it'll be the question of now, will the softs make it to the rain? If they don't, then Danny has fooled us all.
That is a good point actually. Yeah, the mediums. Oh, with the softs, kind of the windows, what, lap 10. You can actually pick quite early from softs to mediums if it is a dry race.
Yeah.
But yeah, the mediums are the tires you want to be on for Silverstone. They pretty much are very very durable, and I would say if the rain is coming later in the race, the mediums definitely are a safe bet for that. So yeah, it is a dry start to the race, which is great for us as spectators.
Tyres. Everyone on softs, apart from Meppo and Dragon, who decided to go on mediums, and Kebab. Obviously,
Yeah.
Danny and P10 on there, so that might suggest that rain is coming pretty soon.
So Justin, our racer, a weather update. Thanks for this, Justin. We're gonna employ you as our weatherman, even though you're currently driving on the grid, making your way to the start finish line for the start of this race. But yeah, he says it was supposed to rain, but he says it will rain like really soon, probably. Like it says it's raining now.
Very
apparently.
scientific.
So we might see some drops of rain here as they make their way through this formation lap. I'm gonna ride on board with Jared, see if I can spot any little bits of rain on his car, but no, looks dry as a bone to me. But those clouds do look pretty dark up ahead.
Yeah, and if you thought Cops, Maggots and Beckett's, this complex Jarry's going through now was difficult in the dry, well, you got another thing coming if you're going to drive this in the wet. With the setups they've got, if they haven't adapted them to wet conditions, it's going to be very, very loose when you go through those corners at 150 mile an hour in the pouring rain. So you might see more than a few spins, I would imagine.
Yep, Jerry's slowing the field down here, doesn't want to get to the grid and for his tires to cool down, although I think they do lock in. Larson, shout out to Larson, Tier 2 driver, says good evening everyone. Didn't have a very good time of it on Wednesday, Larson, but I think he said there was
Williams didn't in general.
Justin, our racer, also saying the MFD at the start of the race did say full wet race, and he's very confused, so he will be starting this race with a very confused face. In P5, as I'll hand over to you, Joel, as we're watching the drivers take their grid slots.
Yes.
Not manually, automatically.
Yeah, well, yeah, you've seen that. That's interesting. And if you brake too late and overstep the mark, as it were, you get pushed back like 1.5 meters or something. So that would be interesting next year. But this is this year. It's season 8, and it's round 2 at Silverstone. Jarry on pole, Desi alongside him, and we're underway here in Britain as the Ferrari Mackenda's got a decent start. That's already Justin fighting for P4 with Copy in the AlphaTauri as we come into turn 3. The Ferrari on the outside of the McLaren. Can he get it done? No, Mackenda has to stick. But Copy fighting back, and behind them is Icewind, Roadrunner and the Williams, who is fighting side by side with Houdin. He cannot get past, but Icewind right on the back of Roadrunner now as we come in at the end of the back straight, and Icewind round the outside into, well, whatever this corner's called, I guess, onto the old start-finish straight as the Aston Martin there of Houdin sneaking up the inside, not able to seize his chance just yet, but he might into Cops, and I tell you, this is a very ambitious move. If he doesn't pull out, he wasn't trying to, but Roadrunner's gone wide, and they're going to go side by side into Cops. Roadrunner and Houdin. Houdin gets the move done. Further up the field, you've got Icewind on the back of Copy, and Justin, who's made a good start, already dropped Copy slightly, and Jarry, 1 second in the lead. Copy got on the grass a bit there. It's going to give Icewind ample opportunity into Stowe to take the position up round the outside. Jammy has dropped back to P12. Must have been an incident, but we'll keep an eye on that battle in a minute as Icewind gets past Copy. Further down the field, Tild being overtaken by Danny, who's dropped down P15 already
Houdin
on
as
those
well.
mediums.
Houdin as well going for a move on Copy. So yeah, Houdin's trying to pick up the pieces here. The guys battling ahead, almost sent it down the inside for the penultimate corners. Crystal picking up a penalty. 5-second speed penalty for him. So he's in the pits. So he's had an
I guess
issue at
he's
the
gonna
back.
retire, isn't he?
But a pretty clean start for most of these guys. But like you say, Jerry Fitz, he's working on getting that gap above 1 second, and DRS activated in lap 3, so these guys using up a bit of ERS trying to get an advantage, but Adesi seems to have that gap under control at the minute.
Yeah, so Hididis and Jamie both lost 5 positions from their starting place, and Danny Coe down to 14th from 10th on the grid. So the mediums are not proving to be the fastest tyre at the moment, but there aren't any signs of rain just yet, so they'll be hoping they stay far away for the medium runners. There's a gap forming between the top 3.
I was literally going to point that out. Looks like they're breaking away from this group from behind, who's led by Justin Aracer. 1.2 Justin Aracer is off, and Justin Aracer seems to be saving his ERS here, and it might be a mistake because he is dropping back and he's going to be susceptible for a move, and Icewind sees his chance, gets that move done before the wood corner. Yeah, wood. Woodcut. That's it.
Oh, Stowe is the fast right-hander after the straight, yeah.
Oh yeah, Stowe then. There we go. Adesi, fastest lap. Oh, Icewind, fastest lap. So Icewind's in great form today in this Ferrari.
Yeah, we're putting that qualifying lap late to get him into P5, and now he's up to P4. And Justin back to where he started. And
I have to say, Icewind in the wet as well. At Silverstone, I've seen him before doing pretty good.
Oh, sorry, but there's a 4-way battle here. Dragon, Danico, Jamie, and Papa in the Red Bull. It's Williams versus Red Bull. Up ahead is Nepo, who's going way off the track. And further back, Jamie crashes with Papa. Papa's out the race, and if that's not a safety car, I don't know what is.
Yeah, we've got a virtual safety car at the minute, but yeah, I was on board with Jamie for that. They were going side by side through the corner.
That was... Yeah, and further up, Mepo was shoved off the track by Janice, going side by side. There was three battles going on at once on that back straight, with those behind as well. But virtual safety car, everyone has a chance to calm down for a bit, but Jamie's got definitely got some sort of front wing damage.
Yeah, he just tagged the back of Papa there, and it was enough to send Papa into the wall. Jamie survived that one, but Shakalaka is profiting off that because now he's up to P15. All these guys having issues early in the race. Virtual safety car at the minute, so everybody's racing to a delta. We'll be trying to get as close to that delta as possible as we get underway again. And look, I was just about to say that is the risk of running close to the delta. You will get a drive-through penalty if you're in the red. So Crystal not having a good race today at all. His ventures in Tier 1 the woes continue, unfortunately, for Crystals.
Yeah. Justin and Icewind, however, have managed to close the gap to the top 3 now from that delta. Someone off in Maggots. I think that is Crystals having some more problems. But a big train here and quite a snake, if you call it that, all the way down from P1, P5, and then there's another little one that is brewing with Janice leading a train, including Mepo and Danny, who's right on the back of the Alfa Romeo driver, trying to get the switch back. I tell you what, he's got a good exit here.
Yep.
If he's using a bit of ERS, he's just too far back, and he's not the kind of driver to send it into a corner.
Yep.
But Dragon on the back of these guys as well. He started from the back, is already up to 12th on the medium.
Meeple using good use of ERS there just to stay ahead of Danny. But I think it's only a matter of time. Danny is looking pretty fast as Justin Aracer, one of the top 5 guys there, the first of them to get a time penalty, 3 seconds. As Danny...
Who didn't pass Coppy into Stoke. That's pretty regulation. Yep, Danny not able to close up enough just yet.
Yeah.
Oh, he's looking for a move there, but yeah, way too far back. Jarry setting the pace as Roadrunner comes into the pits. I don't know what this is about, whether he has damage, but I have a sense it might be a gamble onto the intermediates.
Yeah, no visible damage and no sign of rain either, so yeah, this is a bit of a mystery, this one. Why is he pitting at this stage of the race? Oh, it's a drive-through, that's what it is. Yeah, I was wondering why he didn't peel into the pits there, but look up front as well, Jerry Fitz.
Oh, Mepo and Danny, going side by side. Onto the back straight now. Mepo's going to be forced off again. That was so close.
Oh my word.
We nearly had 2 retirements in 2 laps on the back straight.
Oh, Meepo. Oh yeah, I think
And
Danny
he just lost the end.
Yeah,
Danny didn't touch him.
I think there was a bit of contact there, but I don't think it was Danny's fault. I think Meepo had lost control of his car, and Danny maybe just a slight touch, maybe not even. But yeah.
I couldn't see. I didn't think there was one because Mepo lost the car initially, and Danny had to brake to avoid him. But anyway, he's got the position, however it may have come.
Yeah. So the amount of drivers, the list of drivers who are chanting safety car right now in their cars is growing by the lap. And the Desi here is working on this gap here from P2 to P1, 1.1. He wants to get in that 1 second range. He is using a bit more ERS than Jerry just to try to get that gap down, and look at it, it's tantalizingly close. He's just within 1 second now, but can he carry that round to the DRS detection zone?
Yeah, you're gonna want to have to.
Oh, it does! He loses it! He loses the back end! The tires just give out on him. I wonder if it is getting a wee bit wet out there, maybe a little bit of moistness.
Are there any drops?
I can't see any on the cars here, but maybe, I don't know if the track temp's a thing here or what's going on, but Desi, a very rare mistake from him, just the back end gave out on him, and he had already made his way through turn 1, but it was turn 2 that caught him out. And he's down in P7 now, so it's up to McKender to try to get this gap in, and he has his teammate right behind him, so maybe these guys could do a little bit of co-op mode and get that gap down. But yeah, I don't see any sign of rain. I mean, it looks like it should rain any second, but I don't see any raindrops on track. And just on that racer did say that it said it would be a full wet race, so this is a bit weird.
Interesting though.
But I suppose it's a good thing as well. I mean, UK does usually rain, but it usually have this really unpredictable weather. So this kind of
Well, the weather forecast is set to approximate rather than precise.
Yeah, so you do have that random. Oh, and Icewind getting a wheel on the curb there for the penultimate corner, almost losing the back end. So maybe
there's a battle. Oh, sorry, there's a battle brewing onto the main straight. Adesi followed by Janice, who was followed by Adesi's teammate for today, Danny. And there wasn't any move into turn 1, 2 or 3 by the looks of it. However, he has gone deep, Janice, and that gives Danny a good opportunity to get past him on the back straight with DRS.
Adesi going wide again. I think Adesi's struggling with these tires. Sorry, Joel.
Yeah. Someone else off, that's Shaka. We'll come back to that in a minute, but Adesi's going to be overtaken here by Janice. One would have thought. He goes wide and is looking for the switch back. He's still in this as Adesi, but he's got to make sure his lines are almost perfect into this corner. Danny right behind all of them. Mepo retires in the pits, but it's side by side into Cops for these two. It's going to be spicy, 3 wide. Danny thought about it. No chance into there. He brakes early. And Janice and Adesi both go wide. So if they keep battling side by side into Maggots and Beckett's here, Danny is going to sail past the both of them onto the hangar straight. What can he do? He needs to focus on his exit here, get his best exit as possible. And he has. He's got a very good one. Yeah, he's going to gain on Janice here as well with DRS. Is he going to get 2 moves done on 1 straight? I think he is, you know. He's going to have to go around the outside as Janice is still there, hanging in and around the inside. Around the outside of Stowe, Danny's got his man, and Adesi comes into the pits.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I am pretty sure Adesi's tires are not doing too good right now. I mean, it is only lap 8, but yeah, he was slipping and sliding through those heavy traction exits. Danny Co on these mediums though.
Yeah.
Setting a purple sector 1 or sector 3 there in his last lap, so I think these mediums are starting to come to life right now.
Yeah, and the rain. No sign of the rain yet, so Danny will be liking this. With all those ahead probably struggling on their tyres as well, but holding out.
And as you know,
2 Ferraris very close.
When it rains, it doesn't happen, you know, well, most times it doesn't happen that quickly. I mean, it can take a few laps. Yeah. It can take several laps for the rain to really take effect and for the tyres to be ready for, you know, for the track to be ready for inters or full wets. So Danny Co is in a pretty good spot right now, and the longer it stays dry, the better it is for him.
And now Dragon on the back of Janice as well, so the mediums are starting to become faster now due to the tyre degradation. So Icewind right on the back of McKender is not going to make a risky move on his teammate just yet. There's no sign of rain, no drops at all we've seen for the 8 laps so far of this race. The leaders will certainly be hoping there's some rain very soon, otherwise Danny's going to be on the back of them in no time.
Yeah, this is tense. I mean, everybody's watching that weather radar and getting weather reports from Jeff, I'm sure, as Dragon picks up a 3-second time penalty. That's not going to be great for him whenever they cross the line on the final lap, but we're not even halfway there, Joel. We're lap 9 of 26, and yeah, the big news is no rain in this full wet race.
Let's copy on the back of Hoodin. A couple of the individual battles now, sort of the field spreading out, as you would imagine, after 9 laps of the race.
Yeah, I have to say, Hoodin has done really well. He was very opportunistic in the opening laps of the race, and I think he's going to come under quite an attack here from Copy. I don't see how he can fend it off unless Copy gets a really bad exit.
Yeah,
Hoodin
not on the grass.
Yeah, using too much track there, actually going under the grass there, and you can just see the power of DRS and ERS, although Hoodin is fighting it, and I'm not sure how he was able to manage that, because yeah, I thought Copy would have had that easy, but Copy does have the inside line here, and now it switches to Hoodin with the inside line. It's going to be a tight squeeze as Hoodin just backs out of that one. Yeah, I didn't want to... Oh, yeah, Icewind in the pits.
Icewind is in the pits, and this shows us it is decision time for the drivers on the softs. If you think it's going to rain, don't pit, stick it out. But if you think it's going to be a while or it's not going to come at all, then you need to pit now for mediums, which Icewind has done. So he's taking a bit of a, well, you'd say it's a gamble, but it's probably the safe strategy, to be honest, given the tyre wear on the softs by now.
I think that's right. I mean, he could have risked going on the softs if there is definitely going to be rain, but that's the problem. We don't know. There should have been rain already. So these guys are in a predicament right now, and it's anybody's race, really.
Yeah, and if you stay out now on the softs, then you better hope there is rain, because you will lose a lot of positions if there isn't. Well, and everyone around you has undercut you.
Yeah, Icewind came out, and one advantage he has right now is he's got clean air ahead of him, 8.5 ahead, so he's able just to dial in here. He has got a top of the ERS as well in the pits, so we'll be using some of that to try to get this undercut to work from him, and get this soft medium strat as effective as possible. Oh, Crystal picking up all the penalties today, and I think it's yeah, that's usually a sign that you're done, as Hoodin there getting very wide on Stowe Corner as he tries.
Picking up a penalty for that as well.
Yeah, trying to stay on the back of Copy here, but it looks like Copy. Oh, and a lot of guys pitting. McKender in the pits, and we've got Justin that racer, so that moves Danny Co up to P4, Hoodin P3, and of course Jerry Fitz maintaining that P1 position with Copy and P2.
Are they all going on to dries? Yeah, soft runners on to medium. Although I do see a few drops of rain now on the halo of Hoodin, so that may not be the best decision to pit for dries. Although, was it just a graphical glitch or something that I see?
Yeah, I don't see any rain at the minute, but I'll keep an eye out for that. It does look a bit misty out there, but you still see the odd blue bit of sky, so maybe we're not quite there just yet, but we're getting close, I think, as Hoodin is able to stay within DRS range of Copy here, and this will be great going through Magus Beckus on the hanger straight, where he can open up that DRS and close that gap down a little bit, maybe save a little bit of ERS, as he is getting quite low. And I wonder, is Jerry Fitz going to pit here, or what do you reckon, Joel? Because he isn't, he's actually staying out, so I wonder how his tires are right now and what he's thinking. He's obviously thinking, I might be able to get to the rain on these softs, but it is a risky strat. You'd be losing a lot of time, I would say, starting from this lap onwards.
Well, Icewind hasn't managed to undercut his teammate on that strategy, although he might get him here, to be honest. Maybe that's a tactical thing as Makenda pulls to the inside and lets Icewind go. So, yeah, Jarry definitely hoping that there will be rain in the next lap or two, because otherwise his tyres are going to be very worn, as Dragon takes an interesting line into turn 3. Icewind fastest lap of the race.
Okay.
As we come on to the start of lap 13.
And these guys who haven't pitted yet off these softs will see that, and it'll start to worry them. They'll be thinking, should I just pit right now? I mean, you might see Jerry go on to softs here and try something different. Copy as well has that option open to him, Hood'em. But everyone else, it looks like, is keeping with the safe strategy, soft, medium. We do have medium guys still out there who started on mediums, still out there, haven't pitted yet, like Dragon up to P6, Zombie Kebab P7 currently, and Danico, the top guy who has not pitted yet, on mediums, P4.
Yeah, and caught up to the back of the 2 soft runs now as well. Is he going to be able to make a move? No chance. Not on this lap.
And Jerry continues on, hasn't not pitted this lap. Is Copy going to pit? He does not. He's I think he's matching what Jerry's doing up ahead, and Hood'em as well. So I think these 3 guys have decided to stick with this strategy and just follow what Jerry does up ahead, as Danny Coe is pushing Hood'em through the final corner. And I wonder where he's going to get him, because Danny Coe on these medium tires still pretty much in their prime window, where these soft runners ahead are going to be feeling the tire wear massively at this point in the race. Oh, and Danny Coe actually tagging the back of Hood'em, and we see that so often. There's so many different lines you can take into that corner, and Danny Coe just getting caught out there with a concertina effect. Hopefully no damage done to his car, but it will give him a bit of a warning. Just to calm it down a little bit. You don't want to throw away your race.
Oh, Danny got very loose there.
Yeah, these guys.
And then we lost it.
They're very tense moments in this race at the minute. Danny Coe is obviously in a very good spot here, but he can't afford to get into a tangle with these guys ahead. He can't afford to pick up any penalties or pick up any damage. That would be devastating for his race, and you can see he's eager to get on the throttle here onto the hanger straight. Hood'em will have DRS open as well, but I think with the help of Slipstream. Oh, and it might be a free wide here. No, it's too wide with Copy and Hood'em. Copy being sent out wide there as Hood'em takes that spot. So Danny unable to get past these guys. You know what it's like, Joel. 1 guy ahead, it's doable, but 2 guys ahead, it just complicates things with the DRS thrown in there and the ERS as well. Yeah,
or you do what Danny tried to do, which is just let them race and hopefully they crash. And then you're laughing. Icewind got past McKenna again on the back straight, so I'm imagining this is a tactic between the teammates to catch up to Kebab.
Yeah.
And if you stayed out on softs at this point, you've committed to the strategy, so there's no point pitting now. For dries.
Nico is looking up the inside there. Oh, and he does try to go for the move there. Copy going a bit wide and maybe leaving the door a little bit too open.
That's a lovely move.
Nice.
He was already going to get that one done. It's just a matter of whether Hood'em's generous enough to give him the slipstream, and he's giving it to Copy.
Yeah,
Danny is never backing out of this one. Yeah, Copy is.
Copy was fighting that though. He was using a lot of ERS, but Danny getting that move done up to P3, so good work from him. And now it's Hood'em is ahead. Hood'em will not have DRS this time around. Oh, and Danny getting a really bad exit and almost losing the back end there, and he will come into attack from Copy. He does have the DRS now and the ERS. Is he going to go for a move?
Still going to get it done.
Ooh. Yeah, good work there from Danny. That could have went either way, I think.
And this is wearing their tyres, especially the soft runners as well. So I don't know, they're over halfway in the race with softs, so it must be close to 60, nearly 70% now. Yeah, I'd imagine.
Still no sign of this rain. Joel and Danny
swap again from their Ferraris.
Yeah, they're obviously employing that tactic of switching around, and the guy behind saving up the ERS, or the guy ahead maybe using a bit of ERS, and just dragging the teammate closer to the guys in front there. But yeah, I mean, the guys who started to race on mediums are looking like they've just bought a golden ticket right now because there is no rain yet, and we're
Well, if there is no rain in the race full stop, then they're kind of equaled out with the soft runners who started on the softs. Mikenda getting past Kebab. But of course they will have the fresher and faster tyres in the second part of the race.
Yes, but these soft runners, like 14 laps on soft, is not a good look. As Jerry Fitz, you can see him struggling a little bit there just for the high grip corners, the high speed grippy corners where you do rely on the tires a lot, especially this corner here coming up, Stowe corner. Be a bit tentative there, and he stays out again. And at this point, you really have to question this strategy to stay out.
Well, I don't know, because it may be that Jeff's telling them rain is imminent or something, but you know, I wouldn't really trust him, to be honest.
Yeah, but I think the amount of time they're losing right now with these old softs, as
Janice is in.
Janice in the pits, so Icewind and McKendrick doing that switcheroo once again. Icewind 11. Oh, he's a wee bit. Actually, there's a massive gap between him and the guys ahead who haven't pitted. But the gap isn't that huge. I mean, Icewind's looking pretty good here. Don't want to curse him. But yeah, the Ferrari boys are looking pretty good here for a good finish.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if Jerry pits now, he'll still emerge ahead of them, but all those others from P2 to P5 will definitely be behind this train. Kebab hasn't pit and he's still in P8. And Roadrunner is still on 15 lap softs and in P10, so it's not looking best for him.
Yeah. Zombie Kebab but come under attack from Justin Arisa on these fresher mediums. I don't think.
And Danny's got the gap down to Jerry from 8.5 to 7, and it's 6.9 now. So obviously the mediums a lot faster than the softs at this stage, as you'd expect. Further back though, we've got Justin Zombie Kebab. Oh yeah, I do see rain now.
Yes, I do see rain, Joel, you're right.
And it's quite heavy.
Yeah, big heavy drops of rain coming down, so this might get pretty wet.
It's Justin side by side with Zombie Kebab into Stowe. Pit for Inters immediately for Shaka. And I think that's what you need to do. Everyone, pit for mediums if you can. Jari has stayed out, probably one lap, but you know how quickly it can turn in this game. It can go from dries to inters in half a lap, if that. So you definitely want to be on the right tire at the right time. Yeah. And Jari will be extremely thankful, as will Hoodham and Copy, for the rain to eventually come. But yeah, it's not ready for inters yet. They want it a little bit heavier.
Yeah, it might take a couple of laps here. We'll have to see. This is the thing about the wet weather. It's very unpredictable. And yeah, we're at lap 17 of 26, so we are running out of laps here for it to become a wet race, but I imagine it's going to happen pretty soon, although the rain hasn't come down very fast, so it may stay dry for a few laps yet, and the more it stays dry, the more it's going to favour Danico. As you can see, that gap is incrementally getting smaller. It was 6.5 at the start of the lap, it is now under 6 seconds, so yeah, Jerry Fitz is just praying to the weather gods right now. Please make it rain.
Yeah, everyone's staying out. We'll see Shaka's pace.
I'm just going to ride on board with Jerry here just to see what these tires are like through Sector 1. It is quite you do rely on the tires quite a bit through this section. I just want to see if there's any evidence of the tires slipping away from him. Doesn't look too bad, maybe a little bit tentative. I should expect on these old softs, but yeah, the rain isn't coming down too heavy. It's very light rain at the minute. You can't even see any spray up coming off the cars, and the rain's been there for about a lap so far. So yeah, this could go either way, Joe.
Yeah. You know, there's 8 laps left, so he's obviously have to pit at some point onto a different compound. So if it doesn't come, he's going to have to pit on the penultimate lap for mediums, which will not do him any favours.
Yeah, and look at Danny Coe, got that gap now down 5 seconds, so within 2 sectors. That was 1 second he's got into that lap. So rain is coming a wee bit heavier, I would say, now as they're going through Maggots Beckets. But yeah, Danny Coe he's in a good spot right now.
Yeah, but don't forget, Danny will want this rain to come as much as Jarry will now, because he still has to pit also. So he'd rather everyone pit at the same time, so he keeps his P2. Otherwise he's going to be behind Icewind's train, I would imagine.
Yeah, does he getting his way past Roadrunner on those old sauce? So yeah, Roadrunner's really struggling hard. Just running on board with Shaka. Have you been keeping an eye on him to see what kind of performance he's able to get out of these tires?
Well, he has span. So
oh dear. And Copy's in the pits as well, so we're going to see Copy put on mediums, or is he maybe thinking about risking Enders? It might be a bit too early.
I think it's too early, and they are mediums. That's a big call, and that might be an important one in the context of this race.
Yeah, he's not happy that it's not wet enough, and he's thinking it's not going to be wet enough for full wets or Enders. But that time's spent out. Oh, Shakalaka is out. He's
in the pits.
He's actually retired in the pits. That's unusual from him. Usually he would be racing to the flag, regardless. Oh, a Copy comes out just behind Roadrunner here. So Roadrunner is on these very old sauce. So we're probably going to see a move here quickly from Copy, as he does have DRS, ERS. Roadrunner does use a bit of ERS, but I think he knows it's pretty much in the bag for Copy at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely not time for inters yet.
Yeah.
However, it is getting wetter. I mean, yeah, this is going to be a very, very tight finish, because Jarry and Danny are no longer in the lead of this race. Net, I assume they will come out behind Icewind and Makenda, who swap positions yet again. DRS is still enabled, so that's always a clue for the drivers when it's ready for the wet tyres.
Yeah, and you can see the rain is getting heavier. You can start to see the raindrops on the actual camera screen here as well. But Danny continuing to eat into this gap, 2.2. I mean, visually you can see Jarry now, and it's going to just add a further incentive for him to get that gap down and possibly take lead of this race. Zombie Kebab in the pits as well, so he's opting to go in off the mediums.
Tilda's span.
Oh dear.
And Cops on the dries.
Yeah, tricky conditions. Yeah, Kebab onto the sauce here, so it doesn't seem anybody's happy with these conditions yet. Obviously, Inters are not quite there yet. As Danny Coe, 1.3 is the gap. It's tantalizingly close. This is for the race win. So Danny Coe cannot afford to make any mistakes at this point. And Jarry Fitz, I'd be surprised if his tires aren't ready to explode right now. I mean, is he best just conceding defeat at this point, this late stage in the race?
I mean, he's gone so far, he has to stay out. He can't pit for dries now,
and
unless he's coming in for inters. Surely it's inters, it can't be anything else, because, I mean...
I don't know, Joel. I mean, I'm looking at the track and I don't see any evidence apart from the odd raindrop. It is increasing in intensity right now, but I think Jarry might just well go for these mediums. Oh, and he doesn't. I can see Inters out for him.
And Hoodham is coming as well. DRS is still enabled. And Shaka Span on the Inters. That's a big call. What is Hoodham going to go on to? Imagine it'll be Inters as well. It is. So maybe they got the call from Jeff. However, yeah, no one else's pits. That's an interesting one. They come out way behind Icewind and Makenda.
Yeah.
So Icewind and Makenda are effectively a 1-2 for Ferrari.
Nice.
But then there is challenger Justin. It's just a question of whether these Inters are going to be fast, and if they are, we're in for a thrilling finish.
So as it stands, Danny Coe still has to pit. He is hoping for those Inters, the Inter conditions to arrive. But yeah, I mean, there's several drivers here who could win this race. It's all depending on these weather conditions. As I see, there is a car out. Giannis, yeah. Actually, it's Roadrunner is at the side of the road.
Yeah, well, 20 lap old softs. I mean,
wonder if he... Oh, he's missing a wheel on my screen. Oh no, it's back. He's got a puncture. That's what it is. Front left is a puncture. So yeah, that's why Jarry had to pit that last lap as well. Obviously at the very
he's
end.
losing a lot of time, is Jarry. I mean, he's lost 2 seconds since he came out of the pits.
are we going to see...
However, he's
Oh,
gaining it
Danny.
back now.
Sorry, Joel, Danny is in the pits, and Dragon is going to take lead of this race if he does not pit himself. He does, actually, so Icewind is leading this race with 5 laps to go.
Oh no! Jerry's across the grass, he's onto the gravel, and he's cut the corner. He's got a 5-second penalty for that, and he lost control of the car. Desi's passed him.
Yeah, these Inters are they're not quite there yet. I mean, the conditions are just not matching them, and he is struggling out there, it seems, as Icewind, I'll repeat, Icewind is leading this race. Let's not curse him.
Oh, Jerry in the pits again.
Oh.
So it's gone from bad to worse for the race winner.
Is he
5-second penalty again, and imagine he's not going to continue.
He might not continue, but I wonder if he's maybe going to put
Danny and Dragon onto softs.
Yeah. So the Enders weren't there, we were right. Jerry does leave the session, so this race has changed around. Icewind leading this race, McKender in P2. So Ferrari won
that little Ferrari team order arrangement is going to go right out the window now that they're in the first and second. It's each man for himself business, I assume. And Danny has got 4 laps and a bit to close up 9 seconds on these softs. And I tell you what,
I don't think it's enough.
Softs versus the old mediums are normally very fast, especially when it's wet, because the gap is extended. There's an increased tyre delta in the wet conditions.
Yeah, that's true.
So
But
will be a lot faster.
But another factor at play, Joel, is the fact that Icewind has McKender, and McKender has Icewind. There's going to be a red wall ahead of Danny.
I mean, I don't think they're going to be working together now, to be honest.
I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. I think Icewind, you know Icewind, he's there for playing a supporting role for McKender right now. McKender's probably saying, no, you take it. And Icewind's like, no, you take it. But we'll see how it turns out. The gloves may well
8.5 for Danny, 8.4, 8.3. It's coming down pretty quickly, but not quick enough, to be honest, at the moment.
Yeah, and these conditions are so tricky. I mean, whoever wins this race is going to earn it today.
Jerry went on to another set of Inters.
He's out of this race, actually.
Oh, yeah, okay, so it was his AI.
Yeah, and just in that race there as well, I mean, the factor there is, I mean, he's managed to keep in with these Ferrari boys, but he does have that time penalty, and I believe it's actually 6 seconds, so as we stand at the minute, it's looking like McKender P1, Icewind P2, and Danico P3, but that could all change. Team orders out the window, as Joel says, but I don't know. I think if anything, it's looking pretty strong for a McKender win. I think Icewind's going to be happy enough to let his teammate take victory today. Even though to see Icewind win a race, what would that be like? That would be quite special.
Be like Kimmy in the interview.
I'm going to have a nice lolly.
DRS is still enabled, and Icewind's not going to turn down the opportunity of a free pass at all. And he retakes the lead of the race with 3 laps to go once they cross the line.
Yeah, the problem with this situation is that these guys are in VC together, and I bet you any money McKender wants Icewind to win, and Icewind wants McKender to win. So
they're just going to both slow down.
Yeah,
P2
let's hope not.
3.
Let's hope not. But Danico is one to watch out for. The gap is 7 seconds from him to Justin, that racer. But that's the benefit that Ferraris have as well, is they do have Justin, that racer, able to maybe hold up Danico for a bit, and that might just be enough to keep the win. And I tell you what, this rain is definitely not getting heavier. Yeah, you can't even see any spray or any kind of standing puddles on the track, so I think that this is going to be it until the end of the race. So this suits...
Nice full wet race.
It does suit the Ferrari guys, but it also suits Danico. Danico now 6.9, 7 seconds off P3. I don't know, Joel. I think, I mean, we've got 3 laps left. 2 laps after this one, as Tilda is out. I think just in Magus Vegas. Yeah. So he's out, but no safety car. We are on lap 24 of 26. I mean, as it stands, Icewind is leading this race and will win if it finishes like this. I don't think Danico has enough time left to close up that gap, but we'll see how that pans out. And Dragon as well is on the back of a Desi, so there's a battle there. Dragon's on these fresh softs, so you imagine he will be able to get past the Desi, but Dragon does have that time penalty to his name.
And this is where McKender chose not to pass Icewind on the back straight, which either suggests he wants Icewind to win, or it suggests he wants the DRS for the last lap.
Yep. And
Either way, he needs to close up a bit more.
The rain is getting heavier here as we're into the penultimate lap, so very, these conditions are the hardest. I mean, the track's changing corner by corner almost as you get different levels of grip, and it's so easy to lose it, and they can't afford to do that, but they're maintaining a great rhythm here and great pace, and it's looking like they're going to hold off Danny Coe as it stands, but it's all down to who is going to cross that line first, who's going to be the gentleman and let the other one take the victory today. I would love to see
I don't
Iceland
think
win.
there are any gentlemen in these last few laps, to be honest. I think it's arms out. Although Icewind is pulling the gap, and if McKenda's not careful, he's going to fall out of DRS here.
Yeah, I wonder is this a tactic from McKenda? If he falls out of DRS range, it means he could kind of fight off Justin. But he is, McKenna using ERS here, so he is wanting to maintain that DRS
He's
range.
He's got 68% compared to Icewind's 5, so if he is going to make a move, it will have to be on the last lap on the back straight, and he's going to use all his ERS on the final lap. So we'll get a clear indication straight away, really, if he wants to win or not.
Yeah, and I can't take my eyes off this front two, guys. I mean, there was probably a lot of stuff happening behind, but I mean, it's nail-biting time here. McKender is within a good range. I mean, it really is going to come down to Hanger Straight and who is ahead as they go into the sector 3. I just don't know. I don't know. I can't call it, Joel. You reckon they're going to be fighting each other all the way? Team orders out the window, but I think McKender's going to want Icewind to win and vice versa. So
well, he's not even using ERS here, is McKender.
Yeah, Icewind saving up a bit as well. So let's see how that works out here. I can't call this. I think McKender's going to be happy with Icewind winning his first SLR race, and he is backing off a little bit here. The gap is 0.7, and really you want to be within about 0.6, 0.5 as they head onto the Hanger Straight. So I think McKenna is hanging back a little bit here, maybe indicating that he's happy enough to let Icewind take this race victory. And what a momentous occasion it will be. A long time coming.
He's got to dump his whole battery here, all of it.
He is using ERS, but is it going to be enough?
He's left it too late. Or has he? No, if he really wanted it, he would have stuck his nose in, but he's still got a chance into this corner, and he's not going to have a go.
Yes.
That's a bit of an anticlimax. That's a shame, really.
No, but I mean, this is amazing. I mean, this is history in the making. Icewind wins his first race. It's Silverstone. He crosses the line with his teammate in tow. P1, P2 for Ferrari. I mean, you can't ask for better than that. Those guys just kept their heads down and got on with it.
There's going to be a photo finish. Sorry, but a Desi on the back of copy. Is he going to get a good enough run? No, he's not.
Yep, and time penalties taking effect there as well. But Danny Coe does pick up that P3 spot. Was looking good for the win, but the weather conditions were against him today. Just in that race here, a solid P4. He had a 3-second time penalty, but look, 1.4 behind Danny Coe. So yeah, he just didn't see much of him during the race. Just kept it clean and tidy. P4 copy as well, had to be said. Great finish from him. Desi, yeah, the weather really played a big factor today, but we did see that mistake from him, which is quite unusual. P6 for him, dragging up to P7 from pretty much last position, and Giannis P8. But big shout out to Zombie Kebab, picking up his first points in Tier 2 this season. Tier 1, 2 points in Tier 1. Yeah, P9 for him. He'll be over the moon with that. Hoodham P10. And he's just sat on the line looking a bit forlorn without a front wing. His teammate Sahinid is coming round, and don't even know if he's in the session still. P11, it'll be Jerry Fitz P12 then. What a race, Joel. That was great. I have to say, when I saw the indication it'll be full wet conditions, I was a wee bit bummed out, but that was perfect. I mean, it was very unpredictable.
It was very entertaining.
Kept us on our toes.
Yeah. The full wet race that wasn't a full wet race delivered.
So just catching up with Chad here. Terror is saying, "Whoa, Icewind, let's go." Larson, a moment of SLR history. Mibu saying he didn't practice at all. What the hell? And
What do you mean? What? You qualified like P3 on Wednesday with no practice.
I wonder if he said Icewind didn't practice at all.
He didn't practice at all. Okay.
Oh, Meeple
Well, there you
says,
go.
Joel,
Experience.
stop being drunk. And
What?
I don't know, Fedavara saying, congrats Icewind and Kebab. Eagle Ghost says, oh, that sucks so hard. But that, yeah, leading in AOR.
I'm like a Twitch streamer now.
Yeah, so Eagle Ghost experienced similar conditions before, but yeah, what a racer. I mean, you can't fault Icewind, and I think it's driver of the day for Icewind as well. I don't know. I'm a bit biased.
Nah, I don't think so.
On,
no,
bro.
I'm
Come
kidding.
on, bro.
Obviously, it's Icewind.
Come on, bro. Yeah, so fast slap goes to Dragon today. A lot of drivers picking up penalties, but the top three keeping it clean. And
yes, thanks to the water falling from the sky.
yeah. Copy. Good game, guys. Everyone clean racing. I liked it. That brings a smile to my face. That's what I want to hear after a race, Copy.
Yeah,
everyone,
not like last week.
I'm sure there are some people that are going to complain about some incidents like Meepo maybe. Meepo confirming he did get a bit of a tag there from Danny Koo in that incident he was involved in, but yeah, we will move on to the post-race interviews, and we of course.
It was Icewind.
Yeah, we definitely want to speak to Mr. Icewind today, and maybe we'll get
Let's get Fede in for.
Yeah.
Just for the lulz and Kebab. Hello. I'm gonna start with Fede because your race was clearly more interesting.
Driver number 2, Alpha.
Were you trying to get every single penalty possible in the game? Was that your goal today? Because you got 3 seconds, 5 seconds, a drive-through. I'm surprised you didn't get a grid penalty.
Yeah, probably was. But, well, I was driving and my piece of clamp just fell, so, you know, not the best condition to race. But, yeah, this tire was bad because I just went around to the back of a Shaka. So I got broken wing, and the P10 tray just got penalty, and yeah, after I spun, so a lot of things. But
how do you feel that your greatest rival has more points than you in SLR so far this season?
I'm happy for him, to be fair. Kebab did a great job, better than me. He's still within the track, so he deserved the point more than me for sure. And yeah, also
2 points. 2 points.
Yeah, 2 points. Yeah,
points.
I'm sorry.
How was your race, Kebab? Didn't see much of you. You were quite quiet going.
Uneventful. I think I made one overtake the entire race. I think that was on Tilda, who I was quite pleased to see. I had a bit more pace than him, and he was on the soft, and I was on the medium, so I felt pretty good about that. But other than that, yeah, it was just getting the strategy right, and then trying to get those mediums to last until the intermediates were coming, but they never came. So
yeah,
maybe if I'd have done that, like maybe I would have finished even higher as well. But like because the rain never came down that strongly, then I just decided eventually just for 6 laps to go, just pit for the softs now, like just do it. And then yeah, not else really happened after that kind of thing. I was just stuck. I had Sakinidis who was kind of catching me on mediums as well. I think he made a mistake and let the pressure off kind of thing. But I'm really chuffed for that, to be honest. Points in Tier 1 against Aliens. Beat Jari. Really happy.
Yeah. First points as well, I think, in Tier 1, isn't it? And
congrats.
Yeah, first points for a long time, to be honest.
Probably has something else to say. Like always. or he's having a nap.
Oh, me? Are you talking about me or?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Definitely having a nap then.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll just say congrats, Kebab. I mean, it was great to see you P9 there. I mean, we didn't really catch too much of you because there was so much happening up front, but you know how it goes. But when we saw the P9 across the line, I was very happy for you, even though my guy Shaq, I don't know what happened to him. I think he just maybe got the tire strategy wrong and called it a day.
He got a spin in lap 1 as well. Like he came diving up my inside like a bat out of hell on turn 1, and then I watched him spin because he hit somebody because he couldn't get the car stopped. So, I mean, Shaq is my main rival at the moment because he got the 1 point last week that I was fighting him for. Now I've got the 2 points this week. And he didn't have the greatest one either. But I think Tilda and me are going to have a fight as well. And when you finally get in there as well, we might be fighting as well. But I'm really chuffed with myself. Like, Fedek's he'll get there. Like he just needs to kind of get some practice in behind slower cars.
Don't crash.
Yeah, we'll get there. But I really want to say congrats to Icewind as well, because I mean, absolutely fantastic win for him, and I think that's his first ever as well. So yeah, congrats to him. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, we all know that Chief is just waiting for spin interviews.
yeah.
I just say I'm very happy for Kebab, but he didn't really meant to say. But yeah, congrats to Ashwin. I know he's gonna say it was pure luck and mechanical.
But let's find out if he says that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the suspension. I can't take it anymore. But thanks for joining us in the commentary booth, both Kebab and Fedavara. Great performance, Kebab and Fedavara. Yeah. there's always the next race, bro.
Yeah,
You'll get there.
Retired at his home race.
Wait,
And then-
really?
Yes, last week.
Oh yeah, that's true. What about
And
no
now
worries,
retires at your greatest rival's home race
No worries. Next week I'll be back stronger. No worries.
at Singapore. Yeah, that's an easier track.
So not really. In 2 weeks.
Okay, in
Okay.
Monaco.
Okay.
No, it's not. I just made that up.
No, yeah, in 2 weeks. Yeah, no worries.
Okay, guys. Well, yeah, thanks for joining us in the commentators booth. We're going to speak to the man of the moment. It is Icewind. It's been a long time coming, bro. What have you got to say for yourself, man?
Wait, no. Have you seriously never won a race before in the SLR?
No, never.
Just
No.
F2.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's been a while, and I don't really know what to say. Like, I definitely was not the fastest car on track today, but for once, the strategy worked out perfectly, and I think we got a little bit lucky with the fact that it sort of didn't really go like full wet at all at any point, and even at the end, the conditions weren't that bad because I was only like under a second from my delta, I think. And I was driving really carefully the last 5 laps, so I wouldn't throw this away. And okay, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna be quiet, but yeah. I don't know what to say, man.
And that was some race. So I mean, the very tricky conditions today. Obviously, you kind of got, there was a bit of luck in there. I mean, you did roll the dice, and it went your way. But you had McKender there as well, so it worked out in the end. I mean, at early stages of the race, I'm sure you weren't even thinking about the race win, but as it got later on in and the weather conditions favored your strategy, I mean, like, what was the point where you were like, we could, one of us could win this?
I think it was only like very late in the race there, like 5 or 6 laps before the end, when the leaders actually pitted, or whatever it was. I can't exactly remember. Like, I think it was lap 21 when Danny went into the pits, and then we just realized we're like leading this by a pretty big margin here. And I think the only worry was that if it is gonna go wet, or is it gonna go wet or what? But I don't know. It was such a weird race because, like I think already on the formation lap, Jeff was starting to say that it's gonna rain in 15 minutes, and then he just kept saying that all the time. And I think it was lap 8 or 9 we decided that with McKender, because he was still saying 15 minutes to rain, we decided that we're just gonna pit, because we're gonna have to pit anyway from the softs, and they wouldn't probably last. And that was the case, actually, and I think that was kind of the call that won us the race in the end, that we decided to make that pretty early pit stop there. So yeah, it's such a bizarre race, and I didn't even realize that I'm that high up the standings until like the last 5 laps. So,
It's in
I
the
don't
last
know.
corner of the race.
Yeah, and I wasn't really even thinking about it, the win there, and I even kept trying to offer it to McKender, like, just
Yeah.
ask me if you want.
Yeah, I was going to ask there, what was the conversation in VC like? Because I was saying, Joe was thinking it's like, the final laps, elbows out, there's no team orders. But I was saying, you're probably sitting there going, no,
No.
you go first. No, you take it. No, you take it.
Now so basically what we were doing with McKender pretty much after the point that I fought him, we basically just tried to do the team game there, and we did actually manage that because Justin was in our DRS train for the first stint basically,
Yeah.
and we and there was also a little bit of strategy there involved. So I sort of pitted very late, so Justin can't react to me. Then I tried to do a very fast outlap, and during that point we managed to drop Justin out of DRS, the shuffle in the pits. And then we just kept trading DRS on the back straight and taking the lead of the race. And we weren't really even talking about who's gonna take it or whatever. But I think on the penultimate lap, McKender just told me, like, let's just hold it like this because we both, of course, wanted the good team result there. So yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just for once quite happy with that. So.
I mean, I'll speak.
It wasn't like there, we had everybody there today. Yari,
Yeah.
Danny,
Yeah.
Copy,
Adesi, yeah.
Adesi had a problem, he spun, and yeah, but it wasn't like I'm
Choice
winning an underpowered grid or something, so yeah. Good.
Yeah, well, I did. If you look back on the stream, you'll see early on about halfway through the race, I said Icewind for the win. And I didn't want to say too much on the stream because it was like, I don't want to be like, this commentator Kurt thing. I don't want to be the one responsible. But yeah, I've seen you before at Silverstone in changeable conditions. And yeah, you're solid. And today you just put everything together. And finally, I mean, it's been a long time coming, Ice. It has been a long time coming, but I think everyone would agree. Like, you're probably the fastest guy that hasn't won a race in SLR. And now that now you're
other than Chief, of course.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, you did win.
I won Spa.
All races, man.
I won Tier 1 Spa, yeah.
So
I think.
Icewind is the fastest driver to have never won a race, and Chief is the slowest driver to have won a race.
Until now.
Yeah, it's all changed now. So yeah, I mean, I guess we can then just talk about like how do you feel now that you've got that under your belt? Pressure's off somewhat, but we do have like 6 races left. How are you feeling about the rest of the season, starting Singapore next week?
I mean, I think I'm just gonna take it as they come. I didn't really do a lot of practice for this either. I did that one practice yesterday evening, and I ended up using a completely different setup today. so it was kind of. I think that also, just that actually worked somewhat to my favor. I think because some of the guys like Adesi, I think he made some changes for his setup because we thought that it's gonna rain from the start of the race because that's what the forecast told us.
Yeah.
Basically. And I think I was more comfortable with that sort of little bit more understeer in the setup than those other guys were, and that I think worked to my advantage. I did make a couple of pretty good overtakes and early in the race as well, so yeah, just sort of everything worked. But Singapore, I don't know, it's never really been one of my better tracks, but I do have some good results from there for some reason, so I guess we'll see after today. I can say that you can sort of not be the fastest car and still win a race. So yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes you win that first race and it takes that pressure off because obviously we're saying it's a long time coming. It does kind of play in your mind a little bit, But now you've got that race win. You can no longer say I'm not a good driver. Yeah, if you win Tier 1, I mean, no matter what, you're a fast guy. You have to admit it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that, but I'm not magically. I'm not magically expecting to be, at least in quali. I'm not magically expecting to be, matching the fastest guys because that's going to be in my Achilles heel this entire game qualifying. So and sort of also today I didn't really do that good in quali. So.
Well, I've got a message here. I've got a message from Copy saying, can you read out my stream chat message? He said, what happened to Icewind? Isn't Juni Tormala on visit to his house?
I mean, yeah, he's the esports driver, but
Ah,
I wish. I think he would have done a better quali lap if he was driving.
he wasn't needed today, bro. It was everything fell into your lap, and yeah, it worked out. I mean, there's not much more to say, I guess, other than congrats. We give you driver of the day as
Thanks.
well. So, the race win and driver of the day. I mean, tempting to give it to McKender because he did play a supporting role in the victory
Yeah.
today. But yeah, just I mean, those conditions, you got everything right. You crossed the line first, so driver of the day and the race win. Well
I was
played, man.
tempted.
I just I don't take anything away from McKender because that was a team effort today, and we pretty much did everything that like we did everything right today. It's a bit of luck too, but it was good teamwork.
Excellent. Yeah, it was good to see. And maybe the red suits you, man. It does seem to
Yeah.
be working
Yeah.
out for you this season. The Ferrari livery. But yeah, I think that's it. I mean, we've no more interviews, so we'll drop you out. Thanks for joining us in the chat, and also once again, congrats on the race win. We'll speak
Yeah.
after.
Thanks.
And that's it, Joel. I mean, history has been made. Icewind
Mm.
finally wins. He's been tantalizingly close before, but yeah, it just hasn't worked out for him. I remember one race, I think it was Suzuka, and he was on for the race win, and he got a puncture on the last lap. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, that was gut wrenching to see. So yeah, hopefully that this will wash that taste out of his mouth. But yeah, that's it from us, Joel. Unless you have anything else to add.
Nope.
We're heading to Singapore next week for Tier 2 and Tier 1, back on Wednesday and Fridays as per usual. Thanks to everybody for watching. Please hit that like button just to let us know that we're not that bad at this commentary gig. But yeah, it's appreciated. We appreciate all the support, and thanks everybody for watching. We will catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.